Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Joining us now is Ojinika!
I was sure you had gotten into the rhythm.
With stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx!
I'm never going to get tired of it.
Jinx!
Rabiola, good morning. You forgot that.
I have a future in acting, let me tell you. I've been Dr. Abati for 2 days and I've rather enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well done. Good job. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, Oji. How are you?
I'm doing
Looking
well.
Sparkling as
Thank
always.
you. You
Looking
too.
Elegant.
You too. Dr. Abati, we miss you.
Yes.
We do.
Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth II was seen driving her car on Monday around the Windsor estate, just days after she was advised by doctors to rest for at least a fortnight. Wearing sunglasses and a headscarf, the 95-year-old monarch drove alone in her Jaguar around the estate. In the United States, billionaire Elon Musk on Monday offered to sell some of his Tesla stock if the UN could prove that $6 billion would solve world hunger. His comments came after David Beasley, the director at the UN World Food Program, challenged Jeff Bezos and Musk to step up to help solve world hunger. In Scotland, U.S. President Joe Biden apologized to other world leaders on Monday at the COP26 Climate Change Summit in Glasgow for the Trump administration's decision to exit the Paris Climate Agreement. Biden said the U.S. exit put the country behind in its climate goal. In Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed appealed to citizens on Monday to take up arms to block advancing rebel fighters. The Prime Minister made the call on Facebook after the rebels from the northern Tigray state reportedly seized control of more towns in the Amhara region of the country. Under sports, Gernot Rohr, manager of the Nigerian national team, amid severe backlash, enlisted former Super Eagles striker Odion Igalo in the Super Eagles final squad list for the 2022 World Cup qualifiers against Liberia and Cape Verde. Igalo announced his retirement in 2019, shortly after picking up the Golden Boot at the AFCON in Egypt. Finally, under entertainment, former First Lady Michelle Obama is set to promote her memoir, Becoming, with actress Yara Shahindi during a live stream conversation with students from 22 schools throughout the United States. It is the second collaboration for the duo after ABC sitcom Blackish, starring Shahindi, announced that the First Lady will make a cameo in its upcoming 8th and final season.
Well, let's begin what's trending in Glasgow, Scotland, where President Muhammadu Buhari is attending the COP26 Climate Change Summit. The president shared a photo of a meeting he had with a lady who asked him about the Armed Forces Remembrance emblem pinned to his chest. The president said that it was with great pride, he explained, that the emblem was a symbol to remember and honor veterans of the Nigerian Armed Forces, especially those who have paid the supreme sacrifice for peace and security. The federal government last week formally launched the emblem for the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, and on that occasion, the president said the emblem was not only a sign of the sacrifices and bloodshed by the officers of the armed forces, it was also a sign of our resolve to confront any challenges we may face and say no to divisions and embrace one another as a united, indivisible country. I thought that was so cute that the president shared this meeting he had with this lady. And we're talking about the emblem, which I think is so unique. I mean, it is amazing that we have a symbol to celebrate our gallant soldiers. We'll never, ever forget them. But I want to also know how to get the emblem.
There are a lot of public places, from the airport, literally, you can get one. You just collect it and you give a donation to whoever is selling it. And that donation is for the benefit of our veterans. And it is an extremely important little vignette from COP26 that the president shared, because I have to say, and I've discussed this on the show before, I absolutely hate it when people are ungrateful for the sacrifices of the men and women that lay down their lives so that we can sit here talking. If not for them, would have been overrun by Boko Haram, would all be goodness knows where by now. These people go and they die. So when the army, has a misstep or two, there should not be a rush to condemn the military because they serve us. They perform such an important service. Every single year I buy these emblems and give a donation. It is extremely important. And I also wonder why. I mean, in the UK, they have their poppies on at this point because they celebrate on November 11th at 11 a.m. precisely, Armistice Day, the end of World War I, November 11th, 1918. And the clocks strike 11 and everybody falls silent. Every single child in the UK, even in kindergarten, wears a poppy. But in Nigeria, why I feel strongly about this, because when I wear the emblem, when I do, people tell me that, why are you wearing that? Why on earth would I not?
Why not?
Why would I not wear that? So I think it's very important that the president has highlighted this. We are not the ones facing our enemies and dying. I always quote a Wilfred Owen poem. I won't get into the actual poem, but if everybody could read it, it would be great. Dulce et decorum pro patria mori. It is fit and sweet. It's fitting and sweet to die for your country. It is not. It is a tragedy to die for your country in your prime. So however we can support our veterans, however we can support their families, we really ought to. It's our duty.
Absolutely. Rufai, your analysis on this story.
I mean, every year I wear my poppy proud, and I wear it very proud because it signifies a lot. It signifies the hopes of families dashed, because we forget that those soldiers that are fighting, they've got families too. They had hopes and aspirations, but those hopes were dashed when they lost their life. It signifies the interpersonal story of resilience, of belief and unity of our country. Where did the culture of the poppy come from? It came from 1918. A Canadian soldier called John McCree. His friend had died in the war, and he looked there as poppies started to grow close to his friend's grave. And that inspired him to write a poem called In the Flanders Field. And that poem became something so transformational that everybody adopted the poppy as a symbol to celebrate fallen soldiers. And it's been a culture since then. We should honor our fallen soldiers. They have tried a lot for us. We should take Armed Forces Remembrance Day seriously because it is part of us as a people. It's part of our heritage. There used to be a wreath laying place, I think, on the Lagos Island for the plaque of the unknown soldiers. We should do all of those things. I'm not saying we are perfect, but maybe when we start to do all of those things and wear our poppy proud, it will remind us that we need to come together. Tribes and tongues will differ in this country. We will not always agree on everything, but there are some things we can agree on. That people that put their life on the line for us in this country deserve that commendation, deserve that support. And you picking up a poppy anywhere, in any public place, and donating to veterans that don't have limbs any longer because they fought for the cause of our country, to those that don't have legs any longer because they fought so that you might walk freely off the street.
Absolutely.
I think these are things we should remember. So when it's Armed Forces Remembrance Day, or even before Armed Forces Remembrance Day, Tulu talked about 11th November. We do ours here on the 15th of January.
Yeah, we used to do it on 11th, but we moved it to 15th of January, obviously, to commemorate our civil war.
Our civil war. We do ours on the 15th of January. Let's all go out there, put our support, and ensure that we celebrate these people and wear our poppy proud.
Well said, Rufai. We'll take another story. Chukwuma Soludo, governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, was trending on social media on Monday after he accused Andy Uba, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, of forging his senior secondary school certificate, which was presented to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Soludo made the comments during the Anambra governorship election debate organized by Arise TV. Well, let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
I sponsored the bill in the Senate. The bill I sponsored was the prison reform bill, which I sponsored in the Senate, that that was signed by the president into law. That's why it's a prison correctional institution in the Senate. You're saying I've been 8 years in Senate not doing anything. What did you do? I made sure you are the central bank governor. What have you done so far? You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything about it. You came from, they brought you to me, and I made sure.
Brought you?
My brother brought you.
I will show you here with open hand on. You forged.
I never forged your certificate.
Hello, you didn't. Do you have secondary school?
Of course.
Hello,
Where?
gentlemen.
What's that school?
When?
Come on.
When did you graduate?
1974.
1974?
Yes.
That you have senior school certificate?
Go and check.
In 1974?
Go and check it. I have a
1974?
Yes, go and check.
You have senior school certificate in Enugu State? It's forgery.
Go and check it. The school is there.
No, you are here.
I don't know what you have. It's not mine. I don't know what you have.
Professor
I don't know what you have. It's not mine.
You know, I can't stop laughing, Rufai. I just want your comment first before I can do my analysis. What's your take on this?
I mean, when I saw that exchange, I was taken aback. So this is not the first time we're going to have discrepancies on certificates as regards campaign in this country. In fact, when I hear WAEC results, I just remember, I said, you too, because when you look at the long list of people and the talk about WAEC results, it gets endless sometimes. But for me, in all of this, I get taken aback by Nigerian politicians because they miss the plot. It's about them, personal squabbles. This same person that said you forged results, they were laughing after the debate. I wish they can fight about poverty that affects Nigerians. I'll be excited. How I wish they can take the pains and sufferings of Nigerians and use as something to fight about. I'll be excited. But look at all of them. It's always about them. Oh, I'm better than you. You that you forged results. You that you were a servant. You that you were a former house help. You that you were a former masseur or massage provider. You that you clean shoes.
Monsieur.
Monsieur. You that you clean shoes. I am better than you. I never hear I am fighting you because you don't have a better plan to make the life of the people better. And except we stop this from our politics, then we will never move forward. The issues don't take preeminence. It's the personality. And for the life of me, for what it's worth, these people will set their supporters against each other and they'll kiss and make up in the end.
Because like you rightly said, they were laughing at the end of
like
the
Rotimi will say, don't die in their war. Farotimi will say, don't die in their war. Because they'll kiss and make up. It doesn't still, because somebody said that you forged WAEC, it doesn't stop him. If he has a good business deal for him tomorrow, they'll still give each other and they'll move on.
Right. Well, Tundu Abiola, I think that, while it is quite comical, I think that the accusation is quite serious. Accusing him of forging a certificate, I don't know, what you think of that.
Yes, forgery is a crime in Nigeria, and I don't think it's something to be laughed off. I think for me, with debates, this is important. Your manifesto in black and white is quite dry, isn't it? A debate shows you demonstrate not just your competence, you demonstrate your character. A lot more comes across than these candidates actually are aware. We know a lot more about them than we did before, including the fact that Professor Soludo could not resist ad hominem attacks, which for me are a black mark. In spite of all his credentials, Ngozi Alebo had to go all biblical. She had to start saying, the greatest is he who serves. Because I'm sure she was just trying to diffuse that. Because it was just so shocking that we actually were reduced to listening to that. And what's also unfortunate about it is that today, even though they were talking about roads, which is a problem in Anambra State, talking about erosion, climate change, what have you, unemployment, and of course, security, of course, IPOB, what most people are talking about today is insults. The trading of insults. That is so tragic.
It dominated social media.
It is tragic.
Yesterday. Dominated, really.
Imagine?
That was what everyone was talking about.
Done?
Really.
They've deflected the issue.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
None of them could provide solutions to erosion that is eating. See, I have seen homes in Anambra that erosion has eaten into. Imagine you build a home, erosion kicks into the foundation, eats it off.
But they referred to that. They talked about how homes are falling apart, but could not resist these attacks. And we've talked about Professor Soludo. Andy Uba also got, Senator Andy Uba also got some of his own retaliatory jabs in there. And also Valentine Ozibo of PDP, he would say, my brother, and then proceed to blast the person after saying my brother. But at least it was kind of tempered from those two. From Professor Soludo, oh no, it was too vitriolic. Really was.
It was. Well, in the meantime, we'll take this, since you mentioned Valentine. Reactions trail comments made by People's Democratic Party candidate Valentine Ozigbo after he called for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and the de-proscription of IPOB as a terrorist group during the debate. Let's take a listen.
I honestly feel that, indeed, what is happening is a failure of leadership. Agitation happens when leaders fail their people. And so when there's a vacuum, Nnamdi Kanu came on board to fill that vacuum. Obviously, clearly, there are the areas agitation may lead to that may not be exactly how we would want it. But the truth is, those agitations, are they founded? In most cases, yes, because marginalization happens in Nigeria, and Anambra or Igbo people are part of the victims. And it's happening all over Nigeria. So I urge for dialogue. I urge for him to be released, and I urge for IPOB to be proscribed, so that we can all sit together and solve problems and take Nigeria to another level, and Anambra in particular to where we want it to be. Thank you.
Well, so he's, joined the calls for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I mean, I think that his sentence or his statement was, quite apt at this time, trying to call for his release. But they always say, let the law take its course. I mean, calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, I don't know how that will solve the issues that they really rightly want, which is a sovereign Biafra state.
Well, that's clearly not going to happen. The federal government of Nigeria is not going to allow a sovereign state, which is exactly why we had a civil war in the first case. Right. But he, I feel, is towing the party line. This is PDP's line, that there should be a political solution rather than a legal solution. So I'm not really surprised that he made that comment.
So for me, let the law take its course. He's in court. Let the court do their thing.
Yeah.
Anything the court finds us at the end, we should abide by that. But we should dial back to the structural problem that even led to the emergence of people like Nnamdi Kanu in the first place. Why is it that a group of people can relate to them? It's because of the structural problem. Call it marginalization, call it corruption, call it anything. And we keep forgetting that before Nnamdi Kanu, there was a Ralph Wazirike. Mm-hmm. So why is it that we have a country?
Ralph is Masob. Yes. Masob, correct.
Yeah. So why is it that we have a country where every part always feels marginalized? Why is it that we have a country that some people, in the words of this reggae star, Bob Marley, say, some people belly full and some are hungry. An hungry man is an angry man. So why is it that we have a country that is not being fair for all? Those are the structural problems of Nigeria. And you see, unless you fix those problems, the problem of inequality and social mobility in Nigeria, we will always have agitations. Why is it that we have a country where the likes of Sunday Igboho started? But we forget in a hurry. Before there was Sunday Igboho, there was a Gani Adams. Why do we have that? It goes back to the structural problems. What we should do is to sit down and fix our structural problem. Make this country fair for all. Make it equitable for all. Tunde, we're talking to doctors here, and we're talking about brain drain.
Yes.
Why do we have a country where medical doctors want to go to Saudi Arabia? When the Saudi royal prince used to come to UCH in Ibadan to get healthcare in the 70s. When are we going to have a country that a Nigerian wants to stay in Nigeria? When are we going to have a country that Nigeria will be the plan B for an average Nigeria, and plan A, and plan C, and plan D, and plan Z? This country is blessed. Nigerians have no need to suffer. Let's all come together to make it work.
Absolutely. I guess we'll take our final story. Popular socialite and businessman Obinna Iegbu, popularly known as Obi Cubana, was trending on social media after news broke that he was interrogated by officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over alleged money laundering. The businessman was allegedly arrested and taken to EFCC headquarters in Abuja on Monday over the money laundering allegation and tax fraud. Obi Cubana made headlines in July when he hosted an ostentatious burial for his late mother in Okpe, Anambra State, in which over 200 cows were reportedly killed. Well, let's take a Twitter reaction from Omotayo, who wrote, "When Yusuf Buhari did a flamboyant wedding and spent billions of dollars without any traceable means of income, EFCC was nowhere to be found. Just ordinary burial that Obi Cubana did. Malami and his gang are having sleepless night." Now they have brought in this ethnic divide into this type of conversation. But I mean, you can't blame them. Can you really blame them at this point? Everyone is talking about there's still investigations going on with Magu and, all of those people, and there's nothing happening with those. I guess we'll have to go to Adefemi Akinsoya, who is covering the building collapse in Lagos. Hello, Adefemi.
Hi, OG. Thank you very much for dedicating some time on what's trending to us. This is actually
it was very
going to trend. Just what you can see at the top of that hill there, at the top of that heap, is somebody who's been pulled from the rubble alive. We were getting early inclinations that was going to be the case. We saw oxygen being brought to the crash site, and now we're seeing scenes of that person being able to emerge fully conscious out of that rubble. So in terms of the survivors that we've heard, this is definitely going to be major. The Deputy Lagos State Governor is also on ground. He's due to make a comment to us, and we're hoping that he can give us an update on that survivor that's just been pulled from the rubble alive and conscious. Please do stay on with us. It looks as though the person may have been already put into the ambulance, but this is definitely going to be groundbreaking. This would be the first survivor of the day that we've been able to see who would be emerging from that rubble alive and conscious. You can see there are lots of ambulances backing up into that area, most probably to take that person into emergency hospital care. And we're hoping that we'll be able to get an update on their condition as soon as possible. You can see the people walking in with stretchers. So there is an inclination. We were already aware that 2 bodies had been found, but unfortunately both of those bodies, they were in fact dead. However, the situation here is that what we're hearing now is that there is at least 1 survivor that has been pulled from the rubble, and that's why you're seeing a lot of excitement on the ground. This is, of course, happening while the Deputy Lagos State Governor, Obafemi Hamzat, is around, so that we can see what is happening here.
I mean, what a
Let's
huge
just keep our eyes
relief
closed to see if we can see that person.
Yes, this is a huge relief and great news. But earlier in your report, you did say that there were people speaking, using their voices under that rubble to indicate that they're still alive and, they should be helped. So it's such great news that so soon after that report, at least 1 person was found alive. And we hope that others are too.
And most importantly, we send out kind words and prayers that he will make it,
Yes.
because or whoever the person will be will make it, because they've been through a lot, been there overnight up to this time.
Well, that they're conscious is a good sign.
Adefemi, did you get to see the person? Did you get close to the person?
No, not yet. They haven't been able to bring us out. I'm on the highest of my tippy toes as close as possible. We've got the camera panned on them bringing him down, but we've not been able to see the person just yet. That's why there's so much excitement on the ground. Everyone's trying to get a glimpse of the person, see if they'll be able to make any type of comment to the press. Unlikely to be the case, but we will try and identify. Yes, can you see that? You've got the emergency services in the far distance on ground running, and it does look as though they have that person. NTA, please, can you drop your camera? Thank you. Just in the horizon there are people on the ground. So that body has been brought from the top of that rubble down to the ground. It's hard for you to see that movement, But with the person here, it looks as though they're ready to move them out into an ambulance and onto the streets, which is exactly why you've got the police and the emergency services. You've got the police commander there in the orange vest, calling for people to move out of the way.
It's always one of the issues that we have in
yes,
Lagos.
yes.
People just blocking the entrance.
Yes.
Well done, Adefemi.
And you're at a safe distance,
Yeah.
as you quite rightly ought to be. You shouldn't be close, and that's really commendable of you, Adefemi, reporting from the angle that you're reporting from.
Well, thank you, Adefemi, for your
relief.
wonderful reporting and coverage on this really, really heartbreaking story. Really. Thank you, Adefemi.
I mean, just a huge relief, and we hope more bodies will come out since they said they heard the voice of
Yes,
people.
that people were calling out from
bodies
under the
will come
rubble.
out, and that's the resilience of the human spirit, and we can only but take that. You know, I mean, Audrey, we're just thankful that
Yes,
somebody's
really.
brought out alive.
Yes.
The news flash, in case you're just joining us, we've had a survivor from that building collapse, the 21-story building collapse in Ikoyi.
Lagos.
We have a survivor. He came out conscious. He's been put in the ambulance on his way to rehabilitation.
Thank God.
Some good news coming out.
Well, on your last story,
yes,
we don't have
quickly.
time, but I just want to say
Yes,
that we
absolutely.
have a presumption of guilt, innocence, not guilt in this country.
Yes.
Section 36, subsection 5. Everybody
be
is innocent
until
proven
proven
guilty. I have to stress.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, OG.
Thank you very much. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. See you tomorrow.